The year is 2009. Steve Mason just won the Calder Trophy. Yeah, that Steve Mason. Evgeny Malkin led the league in points. He also hoisted his first Stanley Cup. And the Islanders drafted someone, you may know of him, John Tavares, who is now a Maple Leaf, and we're not going to talk about that. I really don't want there to be a crazy war in the comments, or do I? Anyways, NHL 2009, let's get into it. Another one of my favorites. I know I keep saying each game is my favorite, but all the way up from like 06, it just kept getting better and better and better, and 09 was no exception. Now, I love this game. I remember playing a lot of Dynasty mode, as I do. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is go into something that I miss, and that is practice mode with the shooting drill. We did this in 08, and I think I was like 4 for 20. I struggled big time. So let's go ahead and use someone here. Let's go use the best player on the Islanders. Or let's have a look at the Islanders roster. Let's see what they looked like before John Tavares. And Billy Guerin, Mike Comrie. Oh my God. Doug Weight. All right, we're going to use the old man, the 37-year-old Billy Guerin. Alright, let's go. NHL 09 was a good time. It was a good time. Look at the jersey tuck on Billy Guerin. I love that. That's awesome. So let's see if I can do a little bit better than my 4 for 21. Oh, baby, we're 1 for 1. Billy Guerin, the old man. And we're 2 for 2. This guy is just killing it. Can we go 3 for 3? Oh my God, am I going to go a perfect 4 for 4 with the old man, Billy Guerin? That was awkward. Alright, we're going 4 for 4 here. Come on, Billy. Oh my God. So 09 was a really cool game. I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is one of my favorites. It actually introduced me to a lot of music that I listen to today. So shout out to the soundtrack in this game. I also love that every screen you go into has a new background. You can see there it was Kopitar, and now it's Big Jumbo Joe. Just the small things like that really made the game special for me, especially as a kid. Like I think I was 16 when this game came out. I had a blast. I absolutely love playing this game. So just the little things really stuck out to me. So let's go and have a look at some rosters, just like we did last time. We'll go ahead and see some of the best players from every single team. Now, last year, the highest rated player, I believe, was Chris Pronger at a 96. You can see here, he's now a 93. All right, so he dropped down by 3. I don't even know who the highest rated skater would be. I'm gonna guess Crosby? Since he won the cup this year, probably Crosby, I think. Either him or like, who was really good in 2009? Thomas Vanek scored 40 goals that year. So Scott Niedermayer, a 91. Let's see who they had in the cage. Rookie Bobby Ryan. Speaking of Crosby, drafted 1 spot behind Sid the Kid, 76 overall. Oh man, you're going to make a lot of money, my friend. 92 for J.S. Jaguar, damn. And then a young Jonas Hiller. That's awesome. Alright, so it looks like, where's Getzlaf and Perry? So Getzlaf's an 89, Perry's an 84. They're on identical contracts as well, which is kind of cool. Atlanta, oh man, Ilya Kovalchuk. Now, as you can see, I'm a man who likes my jerseys. I got jerseys here, I got jerseys there that you guys can't even see. I need a Ilya Kovalchuk jersey. Now, I almost picked up a fake one, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't bring it to myself to get a fake jersey, so I'm still in the hunt. That's kind of my holy grail sweater. I'm actively looking, but it's so hard. But I miss the Atlanta Thrashers. Everyone misses the Atlanta Thrashers. 85 overall, Kari Lehtinen. This guy had so much hype coming into the NHL. Unfortunately, never really became the goalie people thought. Manny Fernandez and Tim Thomas. Tim Thomas, at the ripe old age of 34, has yet to hit his prime. Little does he know he's going to be one of the best goalies in probably 2 years. Tim Thomas, 79. What a weird story Tim Thomas was. So Daniel Chara, Mark Savard, 85 overall, Patrice Bergeron. And then we got an 84 overall, Phil Kessel. Now he has the Dangler category. That was taken out, I think, after this. I don't know if they had the Dangler category anymore after this year, but as you can see under his name there, DNG stands for Dangler. I think Kessel's more of a sniper, but there you go. Michael Ryder. Oh man, Michael Ryder. All these old names. Thomas Vanek. Oh man, I love Thomas Vanek. I'm going to put on my Thomas Vanek jersey. Yeah, look at that. Buffalo, bring back the slug. I got the Thomas Vanek jersey on. He scored 40 goals this year. Maxim Afinoganov, Craig Reve. Oh my god. Tim Connolly. I also bought a Tim Connolly jersey the other day because it was like 15 bucks on eBay. Derek Roy, Vancouver Canucks legend Derek Roy. Who else we got? Who do we got in the cage here? Still Ryan Miller? Obviously, yeah, Ryan Miller. 90 overall, and Patrick Lalime. Fun fact about Patrick Lalime is he always had a Martian on his helmet. The Martian from Looney Tunes, I think he's from, and like Bugs Bunny. I'll always remember that. It always stuck out to me. Going over to Calgary, Mika Kiprusoff and Curtis McElhinney, 25 years old. Looks real young there. What else we got here? We got, is that Todd Bertuzzi at an 80 overall? That's right, he did go to Calgary, that's right. So their best player, obviously Iginla. Wow, he could be the highest rated player, actually, 95. And then we got Dion Phaneuf, the cover boy for this year. It was weird that Dion Phaneuf was on the cover, but Damon Lankow. All right, we're moving over to Carolina, a really young Eric Stahl. And who do we got in the cage? Cam Ward, obviously, a really young Cam Ward, 83 overall. Cristobal Uwe and Nikolai Habibulin, 88 overall for Habibulin. I feel like Habibulin might have been washed up at this time. 88 might be a little bit generous, but it's all right. We'll let the Bulin Wall have that one. Marty Havlat at an 88. That's right. I think people forget how sick Marty Havlat actually was. Patrick Kane at an 86. Jonathan Toews. This is before their ginormous $10 million contracts. Brent Seabrook. Robert Lang. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Peter Forsberg at a 95 overall. I should have put on my Forsberg jersey. I forgot. That's right. Peter Forsberg still around 95 overall. Really. 95 overall is a little bit crazy for Peter Forsberg, considering in his second go-around with the Avalanche, he only played 11 games. And after coming off lots of injury-riddled years, I'm looking at the stats here with the Flyers and the Predators. It's kind of weird that they gave him such a high overall. I feel like 90 maybe would have been okay. I mean, obviously he's one of the greatest players of all time, but at this stage of the game, 95 is very generous. Joe Sakic, Ryan Smith, Milan Hayduk. Who do we got in the cage here for them? Andrew Raycroft and Peter Budaj. It's pretty weak. That's pretty weak there. In Columbus, we got Pascal Leclerc and Frederick Norina. Oh man, some names I haven't heard in a long time now. Rick Nash is probably the man here. He is. Michael Pekka, Frederick Modine. We got Kristen Huselius, RJ Umberger, Canucks draft pick RJ Umberger. We got Brad Richards at a 90. Sergei Zubov, now in 2008, Sergei Zubov was a 94 overall, I'm pretty sure, so he got dropped way down to an 89. Brendan Morrow at an 86. It's weird that he was the captain. I think a lot of people kind of forget that. Mike Modano almost calling it a career here. He's at 82 overall. And in the cage, Marty Turco? Yeah, Marty Turco. Still a really good goaltender, 88 overall. Ty Conklin and Chris Osgood. Fun fact about Ty Conklin is he was in like every single Winter Classic. Like he was traded to every team that was in a Winter Classic, which is just kind of weird. Detroit. So obviously Nick Lidstrom is still the man, a 93. Their team was sick. Obviously, they made it to the Stanley Cup final this year, and then they lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Marian Hossa at a 91. Arizona Coyote legend Marian Hossa. We got Ales Hemsky, Horkoff, way before the Taylor Hall, way before the Jordan Eberle era. You guys are going to go through a couple years of hell, but it'll all be worth it when you get Connor McDavid, Dwayne Roley the goalie Rollison, and Mathieu Guérin. Florida's got Craig Anderson, 75 overall, and Thomas Vokoun. Like, it's kind of weird to see goalies kind of flourish later on in their career. Like, you can see Craig Anderson's 27, only 75 overall. He kind of came to when he played with Colorado, and then obviously got the gig in Ottawa. Thomas Vokoun there. What we got here in Florida? We got Nathan Horton. Oh, man. Keith Ballard, we got Boynton, we got Jay Bullmeister, Corey Stillman. A very old team here. An old team, that's for sure. LA, Kopitar, just a kid, 21 years old. Dustin Brown, future captain. Was he the captain at this point? I don't know. Alexander Frolov, what happened to this guy? He had a few years where he was just money in the NHL, and then he pieced out to Russia or something happened. But I remember Frolov was so fast, he was so sick. I remember him scoring a lot of goals against the Canucks. Now, who's in the cage for them at this point? It's not Quick. Oh my god, it's Jason LaBarbera and Eric Erzberg. Pittsburgh. Wow. Don't worry, you guys will get a draft steal with Jonathan Quick. You'll be just fine in the cage. Minnesota, Marion Gabrick at a 91. Brent Burns. Fun fact about Brent Burns. Another fun fact. He was obviously drafted by the Minnesota Wild, and then the big piece that sent him over to San Jose, obviously coming back, Charlie Coyle. Not a lot of people put 2 and 2 together that Charlie Coyle was actually drafted by San Jose, and then he was one of the main pieces that brought Brent Burns to the San Jose Sharks. Owen Nolan. Now, who did they have in the cage? Off the top of my head, Manny Fernandez? No, he was with Boston at this point. Who's the goalie? Nicholas Backstrom. Right. Not the skater who's on my wall up there. Not the skater, the goalie, Nicholas Backstrom. Right, of course, Nicholas Backstrom. Montreal, Yaro Halak and a young 21-year-old Carey Price. All right, who else did they got here? Alexei Kovalev, is he still playing for the Habs at this point? He is, 86 overall. And the man, Saku Koivu. Alex Tanguay, still a good player. Tanguay was always good. Like, wherever he went, Alex Tanguay was the man. Nashville, all right, what do we got here? Jason Arnott, Steve Sullivan, Shea Weber, a young Shea Weber, 23. Legwand, Ryan Suter at 81 overall. And Pekka Rinne isn't even the starter. I don't even know who the starter is. Dan Ellis. Imagine starting Dan Ellis over Pekka Rinne. Over here in New Jersey, 94 overall, Martin Brodeur. So as of right now, the highest rated player we've seen has been 95, and that is Jerome Iginla. Patrick Iliosh, Brian Rolston, John Madden. Fun fact, another one, his kid was drafted by the Canucks in this year's draft. Another fun fact, the more you know. Zach Parise, Bobby Holik. Their team was deep. Their team was very, very deep. Look at this guy. Vitaly Vishnevsky, most Russian name of all time. The New York Islanders with the snipe show himself, Billy Guerin. Kyle Okposo without a pitcher. He's what, 20 years old? Not even a pitcher on the guy. Richard Park. Yeah, Richard Park. He was the man. Who's the goalie? Rick DiPietro still? Obviously, he's probably elite at this point. Yeah, 88 overall. And then Joey McDonald. Henrik Lundqvist. Oh, look at the flow on a young Henrik Lundqvist. So handsome. Steven Valaket. Now, fun fact. Another fun fact. On the screen right now is going to be a picture of me and Scott Gomez together. My assistant coach on my Bantam AA team. He knew the assistant coach of the Rangers at the time, or the head coach, which was Tom Rennie. I'm pretty sure I'm putting that together, and I could be totally wrong. And we got to meet the Rangers one day after their practice in Edmonton. I was living in Alberta at the time, and a few people who were dicks were Brendan Shanahan, and who else was it? Someone just walked right past. Who else was it? It was Brendan Shanahan, and where's Sean Avery? Was Avery not on this team yet? I know Avery just put his hat down and walked right to the bus. So did Brendan Shanahan. He didn't even take the time a day. But you know who was really nice was Chris Drury and Scott Gomez. They were top-notch dudes. They sat with us. They talked with us. Henrik Lundqvist actually as well. I had a broken collarbone at the time. I was in this big cast, and Henrik Lundqvist, in his still Swedish accent at the time, said, I can't do a Swedish accent, but he basically told me to take care of that kid, and then gave me like a nudge on the other arm. I was just like, okay, Mr. Lundqvist, okay. Super cool. That was one of my favorite hockey memories. Anyways, moving on here to the Ottawa Senators. We got Martin Gerber and Alex Auld. Canucks legend Alex Auld. Who do we got here? 92 overall. So you're going to see a sick team here. Look at that first line. Imagine what could have happened if maybe they won the cup, or maybe, you know, something didn't go wrong in Ottawa, because this line was just perfect together. You had Spezza the playmaker, Heatley the sniper, and Alfredson the all-around great player. Jason Smith, Andre Mazzaros. This guy blocked more shots than anyone. Flyers, Mike Richards, Simone Gagne. We're very familiar with this team. We just did a playthrough with them in the last episode of this. And in the cage, they have Martin Biron and Ontario Nitamaki. Now, the Arizona Coyotes. Sorry, the Phoenix Coyotes at this point. They're still called Phoenix. And then Kyle Turris. Fun fact about Kyle Turris, he was drafted by Arizona. He was like, I don't want to play for you guys. I don't want to play in Arizona.
Oh, screw you guys. I'm going home.
And then he got shipped off to Ottawa. So there you go. Who do they have in the cage? Is it Brizgalov? Is it the Briz? Is the Briz in the cage? Yeah, Briz and Telquist. His 5-hole is so humongous big. Oli Jokinen, get that guy out of here. Shane Doan with the flow, 21 years old. Kyle Turris, just a bunch of kids over there in Phoenix. So it looks like Crosby is the highest rated player, 96 overall, followed by a 90 overall of Evgeny Malkin, who did actually go ahead and win the Art Ross this year. Peter Sikora, Sergei Gonchar, this is obviously the Stanley Cup winning team. Marc-Andre Fleury and Danny Sabarin. Okay. The St. Louis Blue is Manny Legacy and Chris Mason. All right. And they should have Paul Kariya still, I believe. Yeah, 89 overall. I'm still in the hunt for a Paul Kariya Anaheim Ducks jersey or a St. Louis Blues sweater. I got the Nashville Predators one over there. Andy McDonald, Keith Tkachuk, Eric Brewer, Eric Johnson, Barrett Jackman. Fun fact, one of the weirdest players to win the Calder. A super weak rookie class, and he won the Calder. There's not a ton of 90 overalls, but the 90 overalls that are in the game, they are well deserving of it. Crosby, Joe Thornton, Jerome McGinley. We got Patrick Marleau at 89. I forgot Rob Blake played for the Sharks. Joe Pavelski, Mike Greer, what's up, buddy? Kyle McLaren, and a young 81 overall Joe Pavelski. Mike Smith kind of bounced around a lot, but I guess he was the backup behind Oli the goalie, which is weird to see him not in a Washington Capitals uniform. LeCavalier, Marty St. Louis, Vinny Prospel. Pretty sick lineup here. Ryan Malone, what a guy. Toronto, all right, I know you guys want to have a look at the Leafs, so we'll go through them here. Jason Blake, Alex Steen. Oh man, you guys should have never got rid of Alex Steen. Mark Bell, Yuri Taluski, Matthew Stajan. Fun fact, Matthew Stajan scored in his first ever NHL game. I'll always remember that because I had a McDonald's rookie card of Matt Stajan, and it said on the back, 1 game played, 1 goal in his rookie year. Vesa Toskala and Curtis Joseph. Yes, that Curtis Joseph, 41 years old. We got Vancouver, who should have Luongo, and Sanford. There you go, 94 overall. So you can see how elite Roberto Luongo was. The best player, Pavel Demitra and the Twins. Crazy. Willie Mitchell, Ryan Kessler, Matthias Oland, Alex Burrows, a young Burr. And the last team here is the Washington Capitals. Sergei Fedorov, Alex Semin, Nicholas Backstrom, Mike Green, William Nylander. No, sorry, not William Nylander. Michael Nylander, that is his dad. Chris Clark, Sean Morrison with 2 N's and a random O in Shane. What are your parents thinking? Tom Pody, the GOAT. And then who's in the cage for Washington? Who is in the cage for Washington? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Jose Theodore. Hart Trophy winner, Jose Theodore. Oh, man, that's interesting. So a really cool thing about NHL 09 is the historical team. They got the entire best of the Montreal Canadiens. Jean Beliveau at a 99, Richard at a 97, Boom Boom, Bernie Geoffrion, Steve Shutt, Jacques Lemaire, Guy Lafleur. Just some legends here in Montreal. Hector Blake, we got Bob Gainey, there you go, Doug Harvey, Larry Big Bird Robinson, and who's in the cage? Like Patrick Waugh, I assume. Ken Dryden and Patrick Waugh, both at a 96. So that's kind of cool. I believe NHL 19 is coming out with something very similar to that, but Mark Savard, there you go. What's up, buddy? Thank you for watching. NHL 09 was a blast. Tune in next time when we go over NHL 10, one of my favorite Dynasty modes because they brought in the addition of the BlackBerry phone. You can make trades, you can do all that stuff. So we're going to do a 1-year Dynasty sim with this team, and the team I'm going to use is the Washington Capitals. That is right, we're going to use the Caps. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned when we jump in next time to NHL 2010 with Patrick Kane on the cover.